South Carolina, technically Somerville, in Dorchester County. Let's just do a quick little boop boop boop. There's my car that I love. See through the trees, there is a church. This is a state park, so there is a small fee. Well worth it, in my mind. Dorchester was built as a merchant town in 1697, and it was actually Congregationalists who came down from Dorchester, Massachusetts, and they were the ones that built this town. So according to the signs over that way, there would have been shipbuilders. We're coming up on the Ashley River here, which, I need to check. Goes right by Charleston. So we are we're a little northwest of Charleston, so facing the river here, Charleston would be that way. Boop. So we're going down to the river, where of course ships could actually, doesn't look like a big river, but ships could actually navigate up to this point in the river. So watch out for gators whenever you're in South Carolina, or Louisiana for that matter. I've taken some pretty pictures here. This is as far as I go because I'm not brave. But here's the Ashley River. Very pretty. It's low tide. So we're about a couple hours north of Savannah. I moseyed here. Went to Odisto, excuse me. So we're about 50 minutes from there. A lot closer than I thought. I thought I'd have to mosey around more. Hey, there's a little lizard. Nice and quiet. It's another hot day. Drink your water. Okay, so the chances of you seeing me trip today are probably going to be really high. There's roots everywhere. This road. Oh, and there we go. So there was a bridge apparently that crossed the river here. And then if you can see, there's the fort. And you can see where the road went, right up that way. It's been around for a minute. Woo. Alright, so this is a tabby fort. Woo! One of the key elements with tabby construction is oyster shells. And I think ash, something else. They just mix it together. Obviously these structures are lasting for a long time, so it's very durable. Probably should have slowed down going up that hill. It's okay. I'm a glutton. Alright. Here you go. So the history as far as this was a town and I think it had been burned during the Revolution and then abandoned, like happens with so many towns. I mentioned them before. We've got Sunbury in Georgia that you really can't find anything left of that town. Then you also have Fort Frederica and St. Simons. And this is about Tabby. Oh, the oyster shells were burned, which was combined with sand, water, and more shells. Oh, but could you imagine being just a kid? You know, there's just, this whole area is kind of built up. So there's a lot of subdivisions and such. But, you know, before all that, or do you imagine just kind of, I know when we were kids, we had woods to play in, and we'd fart around in the woods and pretty trees. And we just would have had a blast if we had something like this in our backyard, basically. Just couldn't imagine. So there's Spanish moss. And there you go. So if this town was built in 1697, the Spanish were right down in parts of Georgia, what is now Georgia, definitely Florida. So, you know, you needed to protect your trade and your rivers. And like I said, Charleston is that way. The Ashley River is that way. So you gotta defend your stuff, or they had to then. Here's a little, can you see it? So this was a magazine that was built in the 1750s. And then these walls of Tabby were built to protect the magazine, which would have been right there. That small building, this whole fort for that. So I'm a liar, and it had nothing to do with the Spanish and everything to do with the French, apparently, because they feared an attack on Charleston. So I'm gonna have to edit this a lot. Once again, come up here half-cocked, but you know we're exploring together. That's what makes it fun. So yes, this is the road that would have gone to the landing. Fort Dorchester. Guess who forgot her bug spray today? I did. So Bay Street. So there would have been shops and warehouses here in this area. Sounds like pretty big. Local planners could get what they needed here without traveling all the way to Charleston. All right. So I've only been up here once before. I think it was in the winter time. So when it gets cooler out, you'll see more of my dog Charlotte. It's just too hot to have her in the car and outside. She was not happy being left today, but she doesn't realize it. You know, she's in the AC. We had good playtime before I left. It's just too hot for puppies today. All right. So this would have been the market. Big, beautiful area. So it would have been the village green. So can you see? Here. There's a river. Boop, boop. Nice and laid out. All right. All right. So here is this was a wooden house on a brick foundation. Pretty decent sized house. So you can see, I talked about this with the pink house. We'll walk through here. So, classic Georgian structure. You had, this one had, looks like 4 rooms down. So it would have had 4 rooms up on the second floor. Here's your hall. Fireplaces, it looks like. Can you see that? Chimney in the center. Got these tiny little, obviously these are new bricks. Here's your front room. Interesting. Would this have been a kitchen? Doesn't make much sense, but that looks a little hearthy to me. This could have been a stairwell. That makes total sense right there. Maybe. I don't know as much about 18th century architecture as I wish I did. But you know, these little jaunts make me want to learn. It's what they're for. And they're here for you. If you can't make it to the lovely low country, there you go. All right. They didn't have any out, but they do have some nice little, these state parks, national parks, they always have great information just out. I'm a big fan of things like this, whether it be history or nature, and I feel like everyone should take advantage of them. Once again, can you imagine being a kid? Let's just go play in the woods. And there is that. That's just what's so cool about these these abandoned places, you know, like how many people just were like, no, you know, it's just kind of part of the scenery. Stories get handed down. Oh yeah, there was a church there. There was a town, you know. Pretty neat. All right, there's their little graveyard. Here we go. Very bright. Hutchinson. More graves. And in we go. Let's go around here and try to get a... So there is what would have been the marketplace. Once again, Charleston is that way. Look at that. It's just amazing what they built. Oh man. Here you go. This is a good spot for me to lay down and take a picture looking up. So I believe this was the bell tower. I don't feel like it would have been the entrance to the church because there's like, you could see where it was wet when I was walking before. There's a little creek there. So that makes no sense. Spanish moss, drink every time I say it. It just seems so big, and then you go to Europe and it's like just a little peanut. You just put it in your pocket. All right. You know, I wish I'd gotten ideas to like just mosey about and bring my camera and take videos so that everybody can kind of pretend like they're with me at a cooler time of year. So it's the bell tower. I was right. Angry with the Anglican Church, the Puritan pilgrims left England in 1720. Their descendants, known as Congregationalists, founded Dorchester in the 1690s. Only, to endure South Carolina's 1706 declaration of Anglicanism as the colony's official church. With the Congregationalists worshiping 2 miles away, St. George's Anglican Church was built here in the center of Dorchester. So, Dorchester was founded by Congregationalists, and then they put an Anglican church right here. Rude. Very cool. And then their church down the road. I went down Bacon's Bridge Road to get here. Well, that's just kind of rude, you know? but it is pretty. And there we are. Dorchester. Come visit.